All right, this is part 2 of Peekaboo. If you didn't watch part 1, Lex wrote this, by the way. This is a feature-length script, and Lex is going to give you a real quick recap of what happened in part 1 of Peekaboo. Go for it.
All right. I won't do it in an Aussie accent, but I will do it in my English accent, just to give it some spooky stuff. So, in 1938, Abigail Brown was viciously attacked by a dark force inside of her house. And the witness to her attack was her peekaboo bear, a small teddy bear with porcelain doll eyes and one shut tight. Present day, our peekaboo bear has found itself in the clutches of Maggie Briggs, an adorable little 6-year-old who's having a difficult time at home right now. Our protagonist is her older brother Tyler. He is 18 years old, he's about to go off to college, he's in love with a girl who he doesn't have a chance with, and he's accidentally become a parent to his little sister because his mum and dad are fighting all the time, his dad's a prick, and now these nefarious things are happening. All when Maggie starts to play a game of peekaboo. So what we've seen so far is Maggie's father, who has a dirty, vicious mouth, after yelling at his children, all of a sudden starts vomiting up worms and muck and grime, and worms burrow out from underneath his teeth and rip them all out of his head. And in response to that, he drank a bottle of soap to clean his mouth out. And when he was discovered unresponsive and full of soap, but there were no worms or mud. So we've kind of got the idea that maybe peekaboo is, kind of unleashing the evil that's already inside
she
of
kind
people.
of controls, it seems like she controls circumstances around people that Maggie doesn't like.
Yes. And even more specifically, people who hurt Maggie.
Yes. Yeah.
People who peekaboo consider threats to Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like what happened to Maggie's teacher.
Oh, God. So Miss Exton, her teacher, didn't believe her that the school bully took her bear. So the school bully has peekaboo now. Not great. And Miss Exton peeled all of her fingernails off.
Is that even possible? I bet somebody could force it off if they really wanted to.
So this is actually a really cool special effect that you can do. You basically just put some wax on top of the finger, and then you take a piece of Scotch tape to make a fake nail. Oh. And then you just use it to dig out from underneath and once you get it under the cuticle enough, it's just like a pick and peel, and it's great. That was inspired by the idea of, when you get one of those hangnails on the side and you pull it down too far? Yeah.
You're making one of my mods mad.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You should. Because we're recapping it, and he doesn't like it.
Okay. I heard the word mod and was like, oh, no.
No. He's great. He's
okay.
great. But it's good that we're doing it. Okay.
Well, yeah. So that's the spooky, and now Tyler and Cassidy, the girl who he's hopelessly in love with, and Maggie are going to go get Peekaboo Bear back from...
Maggie does not have Peekaboo right now.
Yeah. Jesse Malone has her.
Yeah, Maggie's friend. Not really her friend. Her nemesis in
bully.
kindergarten. Yeah, her bully, exactly.
And
has the bear.
Everyone in the chat's like, yo, fuck Jessie Malone. And I'm like, yeah
I know.
Fuck her.
You're supposed to hate her. She's 6 years old. She could grow up to be a good person.
She's the dumbest of bitches. And her sister Lydia, who's probably started the undercut trend in her school, because Gavin, who is Tyler's best friend, put Nair in her shampoo at one point.
Which is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we start?
We shall.
Okay, here we go. Part 2 of Peekaboo by Lexx.
Interior.
Yeah, the interior right there.
Great, okay.
Interior, Malone Manor kitchen. Day. Jessie sits at the kitchen table, glaring at Peekaboo as she picks at a salad.
You're such an ugly thing. I can't even think how to mess you up. The bunny was much easier.
Jessica hops down from her seat. She makes her way over to the kitchen. She opens a drawer. She picks out a long lighter and grins. Jessie turns back around, smirking. Peekaboo now faces her. Jessie's smirk falters.
You stupid, ugly thing.
Jessica goes back to the table and throws the bear across the room. It bounces and skids across the floor, landing by Interior, Malone Manor, foyer. Peekaboo softly bumps by the front door. The foyer is wide and grand with a massive chandelier dangling over it by the double-ended staircase leading upstairs. Interior Malone Manor sunroom. Mrs. Sandy Malone, white wine zombie mom, done up like she's always about to hit the clubs, sips from a goblet of Pinot something or other and chats on the phone. She puts her hand to the speaker as she juggles the glass. She shouts towards the kitchen.
Jessica Sapphire Marie Malone, you better behave in there.
Sandy returns her attention to the phone.
Okay, well, Lydia's got Botox at 6, and Jessica and I are getting tans at Malibu Sun after that, so perhaps we can get together at like 8?
Interior Malone Manor kitchen. Jessica rolls her eyes. She returns to her salad. Jessica takes a fork full of cucumbers and lettuce and shoves it into her mouth. She chews. Interior Malone Manor foyer. Peekaboo on the floor. Whispers. Interior Malone Manor kitchen. Jessica's eyelids flutter a bit. Crunch. Jessie's jaw stops moving and her eyes widen. Cheeks full of half-chewed veggies. She grabs a napkin and spits into it. She pulls the napkin away to reveal a half-eaten, squished cockroach. She spits. Her salad is now brown, wilted and crawling with maggots, roaches, and rot. Jessica wipes her mouth, about to scream when she hears a giggle. She turns around and sees the back of a small girl. Her hands are up in front of her face, though.
Who?
The girl runs away on her dirty feet to the foyer. Meow. Meow. Jessica rushes after the girl and the noises. Interior Malone Manor foyer. Jessica enters and ignores the bear. Meow. Meow.
Where are you?
She looks around. Meow. Jessica glances up at the cat, generously named Diamond, is stuck dangling in the chandelier.
Diamond! You stupid animal!
Jessica climbs the stairs. Exterior Malone Manor. Tyler's car pulls up in front of the house. Interior Tyler's car. Tyler, Cassidy, and Maggie sit in the car. Tyler looks back to Maggie. You guys wait here. I'm going to go get the bear. Maggie beams. Tyler opens the car door. Interior Malone Manor foyer. Jessie stands at the top of the stairs, arms stretched over the banister out toward the cat.
Stupid.
Jessica reaches out further.
He's gonna fall. He's gonna die.
Jessica climbs up on the banister. Exterior Malone Manor. Tyler walks up the walkway. He knocks on the door. Interior Malone Manor sunroom. Knock, 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 knock. Sandy ignores the knocks at first and continues to listen to her phone conversation. Knock. Sandy rolls her eyes.
Ugh, hold on, Carrie. There's someone at the door.
Sandy pulls herself up from the couch. She struts out of the sunroom. Interior Malone Manor foyer. Sandy walks past Jessie perched on the banister, reaching out for the cat, ignoring her. Sandy opens the front door. Tyler stands in the doorway. Hi,
I don't need any magazine subscriptions, and I don't do chocolate. Good luck.
Sandy goes to slam the door in his face, but Tyler stops it with his hand. I'm not selling anything. I'm Tyler. Your daughter Lydia has been in my class since 3rd grade. Your other kid is in my sister's kindergarten class. Sandy looks at him, and she took my sister's bear.
Ugh.
Tyler glances down and sees Peekaboo by Sandy's foot. He nods to it. Sandy huffs and bends down. She snatches the bear up and throws it to him before slamming the door. Tyler holds the bear up. Thanks. Tyler turns to walk back to the car. Interior, Malone Manor foyer. Sandy sighs and turns back to head to the sunroom. She walks past Jessie yet again. Jessie reaches out too far and falls. Her body hits the hardwood floor with a soft crunch. Sandy stops in the entranceway of the sunroom. She turns around slowly and screams. Jessie lies in a crumpled heap, her leg contorted and arm twisted behind her back. Diamond skitters past her. Interior, Maggie's room. Maggie and Peekaboo Bear sit at her tea table by themselves. Maggie sips her cup.
I'm glad you're home too.
Maggie pours Peekaboo more tea. Interior, Briggs' house. Afternoon. Tyler and Cassidy sit on the couch in the living room. Cassidy nurses a cream soda. I'm sorry about what happened today.
Me too.
Cassidy scoots closer to him. She puts her soda on the table before she turns fully to him.
Why did you do it?
Tyler shrugs. Seemed like the best solution at the time. The tray wouldn't do much felonious damage, but it was enough to stun the ape, you know? Cassidy forces a smile. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I'm not.
Cassidy leans in and kisses him, much to his surprise. She starts to pull back, but he takes her waist in his hands and pulls her into his lap. Cassidy swivels her hips against him as she runs her fingers at the base of his neck into his hair. Tyler's hand slides up the back of Cassidy's back.
Tyler?
Tyler and Cassidy separate from each other like a falling Jenga tower. They turn to Maggie, standing at the bottom of the stairs, PEEKABOO in her grasp. Pizza's not here yet, Muggs. I told you I'd call you down when the pizza...
Are you gonna leave?
Tyler cocks his head to the side. What?
PEEKABOO says you're gonna leave. You're not gonna leave, right?
Tyler shakes his head. No, Muggs. Maggie smiles.
So you're gonna stay here with me forever?
Maggie hurries in the living room. She stands at the couch. Well, not forever. I mean, I'm gonna go to college in the fall, but, you know. Maggie's face turns cold and then hurt.
PEEKABOO was right. You are a liar!
Tyler stands up. You need to stop with this imaginary friend bullshit now. Quit being such a baby. We got the bear back. PEEKABOO isn't real. Tyler snatches the bear from Maggie. Maggie cries out. Cassidy gets up with Tyler in an attempt to stop him. Tyler storms into the kitchen. Cassidy and Maggie in tow.
Give her back!
Tyler holds the bear above her head. Go to bed. Maggie recoils at his tone. Her eyes immediately fill with tears. She runs away. Cassidy crosses her arms. What? Cassidy walks over to him.
She's scared. I know what that's like.
Let me take you home. He keeps PEEKABOO as he leads Cassidy towards the living room. Interior, Tyler's car. Night. Tyler and Cassidy sit in silence, the soft hum of his engine, the only one contributing to the conversation.
What's in your CD player?
Cassidy leans forward to press play. Wait, no! Cassidy presses play. Little Red Riding Hood by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs plays. Cassidy cocks her head to the side. Tyler sighs. Cassidy smiles and bobs her head to the song.
That's not bad.
Tyler grins. They start to sing along to the song together. After a few verses, Tyler adjusts the rearview mirror. In the reflection, he catches a glimpse of the small girl with her charred hands covering her face in his back seat. Tyler's eyes go wide.
Tyler!
Tyler's attention is turned to the road and he slams on his brakes. The car screeches. He spins around in his seat to check the back, but is only met with PEEKABOO bear lays against the back seat, fallen over. Did you see her?
I saw the stop sign, which you obviously did not.
Tyler takes a deep breath. He presses on the accelerator and the car rolls forward. Interior, Tyler's room. Night. Tyler drops face down onto his bed. His face is beaded with sweat. He rolls over onto his side. His eyes are closed. He takes a deep inhale and a long exhale. A shadowy, small, dark figure rises slowly behind him from the other side of his bed. Tyler twitches as the shadow gets closer. He can feel something staring at him. The pressure begins at the base of his spine and moves up his back to the bottom of his jaw. The shadow stands up against the bed. The moonlight reveals the small girl with her charred hands on her face. Tyler's eyes open. He clenches his jaw and spins around. Nothing is in his room. Tyler clears his throat and rubs his face. He returns to his pillow and turns on his side and is suddenly face to face with the little girl leaning on the other side of his bed with her charred hands in front of his face. Tyler freezes, his eyes wide. The little girl's silent. She cocks her head to the side behind her charred hands. She slowly peels them away to reveal a brutally battered face smeared with bruises. Her left eye is beaten so bad that it swings from the socket like a dried plum hanging on by a wet root. Her lips are ripped away from the right side of her face all the way up her jaw to the base of her ear like a distorted, jagged smile, revealing light pink muscle, graying gums, and few brown teeth. Tyler screams. He attempts to jump out of bed when the little girl skitters up onto the bed next to him. He can't move. The girl gently takes his hand. She snips the webs of his fingers with a pair of rusted manicure scissors. Tyler wails as blood drips down his arm and the rips get wider as she pulls his fingers apart from one another. The girl raises the scissors and brings them down onto his eye.
Tyler?
Interior Briggs house, hallway. Tyler blinks. He stands in the middle of the hallway. He never made it to his room. He turns and sees Elena by the stairs in her scrubs on her way to the graveyard shift. She's concerned.
Tyler?
Tyler looks down. PEEKABOO is clamped tight in his fist, staring up at him with her one good eye.
Are you okay? You've been standing there for almost 15 minutes now.
I'm fine. I just got distracted. He hurries to Maggie's room. Interior, Maggie's room. Tyler enters and sneaks in. He leaves Peekaboo on Maggie's bed. Maggie smiles in her sleep. Exterior, Riverford Elementary School parking lot. Tyler's car pulls up next to Gavin's. Gavin sits on his trunk, finishing a cigarette. He plucks it from his lips and tosses it. Tyler gets out of the car but doesn't look at Gavin. He avoids him and heads for the front doors.
Tyler!
Gavin hurries after him, but Tyler ignores him. Interior, Riverford High School hallway. Day. Cassidy stands with a few other girls. She notices Tyler walking in. She smiles.
Hey!
Tyler walks past her. She frowns. Gavin stomps up to her, panting.
Like he didn't even see me. What did you do to him, young lady?
Cassidy shrugs. Interior, dark room. Day. A few contact sheets are scattered in a larger next to strips of film and the SLR camera Tyler's been using. Tyler drops a blank piece of paper into the developer. He doesn't notice the doors open behind him. A dark figure enters. Tyler adjusts the photo in the developer with the tongs. He tenses up and looks over his shoulder and sees Cassidy. She spooks him.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spook ya.
Tyler shakes his head. No, you're fine.
Are you okay?
Tyler nods and returns his attention to the photo. Cassidy walks next to him.
You've been really quiet all day.
I didn't sleep so well. Cassidy looks at the photo.
Your picture's turning out nicely.
It's from the roll that Brewer had me develop from the camera she got. It's a weird blur in this one. I just wanted to make sure that it was the photo and not the camera. Cassidy nods. Suddenly, both of their faces become confused. Tyler takes the photo out of the developer with the tongs. He studies it. Close on the photo is the image that he took of Maggie and Peekaboo in the kitchen. Maggie stands with Peekaboo clutched tightly, but there's someone else in the photo with her. The little girl stands behind Maggie. Her face isn't mangled. In fact, she's quite adorable. It's Abigail Brown.
Whoa.
Is that?
A ghost? Yeah.
Ha ha. Very funny.
Then you explain the extra girl in your photo.
Tyler puts the photo in the fixer. There's no such thing as ghosts. It was a double exposure or something.
Oh my god.
Cassidy rolls her eyes. Tyler rubs his temples. A flash of Abigail's true face enters his memory. Cassidy looks up from the photo to Tyler.
I've seen her before.
Yeah, it's my sister.
No. The creepy little ghost girl behind your sister. I've seen her before somewhere.
Tyler returns to her side. He glances at the photo.
Oh shit. I think I remember where, too. Wanna go get our Scooby on?
It's the middle of the school day?
And?
Are you suggesting that we ditch school to go on a half-assed ghost hunter's adventure?
Gavin must be rubbing off on me.
Tyler smiles at her. He takes the photo from the fixer, dips it in the bath, and they both head out. Exterior, Gilroy's Toys. Day. Establishing shot of the quaint toy store.
I am good.
Interior, Gilroy's Toys. Day. Cassidy and Tyler stand at the front counter where the old-fashioned cash register sits. There's a massive wall behind it full of framed photos of the store, children with their toys, and newspaper clippings about the store. Cassidy points to an article in the corner with a front-page headline, Gilroy's Toys turns 10. Gilroy's has a banner hung outside of it. Gilroy Sr. stands outside of his shop with a young Patty Gilroy. There are children scattered about the photo, but Abigail Brown stands out next to young Gilroy, holding Peekaboo. She's got the bear. Cassidy squints.
Holy crap. You think the bear is like haunted or something?
Gilroy shuffles in from the back room. He smiles warmly at Cassidy and Tyler.
Cash, hello. Bit early for you to stop by. Playing some hooky?
He laughs, his shaky hands steady himself against the counter.
Perhaps. This is my friend Tyler. He was with me the other day.
Gilroy nods and smiles to Tyler. Hey, can we see that photograph over there? Gilroy gives him a look.
Mm-hmm.
Cassidy takes the photo from Tyler's hand and shows it to Gilroy.
We're trying to figure out who this little girl might be, and she's in that photo over there.
Gilroy's eyes widen. He turns and takes the frame down and places it on the counter.
Ah, Abby Brown.
Did you know her?
Gilroy nods.
When my father first opened this shop, he was so proud that any time the newspapers wrote something about us, he would frame it and put it up on the wall.
Abby was my neighbor. We would play here all the time. Photographers loved taking pictures of the place.
Well, what happened to her?
What makes you think something happened to her?
Tyler pauses. He backpedals. Well, I recognize her from another article I read about missing children?
Oh my god.
Cassidy closes her eyes with defeat. You blew it.
Ah, makes sense. Poor thing.
Tyler and Cassidy release a collective sigh.
What happened to her was a shame. Her daddy was Ed Brown, owner of Newt's Diner. It's a dang Red Robin now.
This is a montage. Interior, Brown home, 1938, day. Ed Brown, a handsome built man with his hair slicked to the side in a suit, smiles at his lovely cookie-cutter housewife, Sally. He turns and beams as Abigail runs into his arms, holding her bear.
The whole town knew Ed. Best guy in all of Riverford. He had a beautiful wife and daughter, nice jobs, respectable handshake.
Ed scoops Abigail up and kisses her cheek.
Then Abby just went missing.
Interior, Brown home, 1938, day. Abigail plays the piano by the fireplace. Her fingers fumble, but she recovers quickly. She moves fluidly through the beginning of the song again, unaware of the tall shadow approaching her. The figure shadows the keys and Abigail's fingers freeze against them. Her hazel eyes dart down at Peekaboo Bear. The figure comes into view. It's a drunken Ed. He snarls at her. I said, quit that noise! Ed snatches Abigail by her wrists. He forces her over to the fireplace and holds her tiny hands over the flames. She screams and cries as she struggles to get away. Her flesh sears, bubbles, and burns against the flames. Ed's face twists into anger and pleasure as he watches his child writhe. However, Abigail's screams prove too much of an annoyance. Ed grabs her face and yanks. A wet rip as he tears Abigail's lips and skin away from her face. She makes a gurgled, bloody cry. Ed throws her to the ground and she bounces. Abigail lies against the floor, her face mangled and bloody. She crawls to Peekaboo. Peekaboo Bear stares at her through its one eye. Ed kicks Abigail on her back. He brings down his fists onto her face over and over and over again. Blood sprays against him. Interior, Gilroy's Toys, day. Cassidy's eyes are red and wet. Her hand rubs her throat. Tyler stands with his arms crossed. They don't get all the gory details, but they do get the gist.
No one knew what happened to her until Ed snapped and killed his wife in church the following week. They found poor Abby buried under his truck in such a mess of a condition.
Gilroy picks up the photo frame. Interior, Brown home, 1940, day. Movers in jumpsuits clear out the Brown home. A mover picks up a box of toys. Peekaboo Bear sits at the top of the box. He takes it out the front door. Exterior, Gilroy's Toys, 1940, day. Gilroy Sr. takes the box from a different mover. He brings the box to the front door and puts it down by a few more boxes. Young Patty rifles through the box and finds the bear. He cocks his head to the side. Interior, Gilroy's Toys, day. Gilroy smiles at Cassidy.
She had this bear. Wound up here after the house was packed up. Lost it for a long time. Right before my father passed, he bought up a whole mess of storage units that the cops were auctioning off. You'd be surprised how many murderers and drug dealers end up storing away all of their finer things. And found the little bear in one of the last few. It's amazing how things find their way home.
Tyler and Cassidy look to one another. Interior, Briggs' house, day. Tyler enters through the front door on the phone. Gav, don't feel left out. Interior, Riverford High School hallway. Gavin pouts in the hall on the phone with Tyler.
Don't feel left out. Really? You're replacing me for some chick and you're running around doing cool shit.
Intercut, Interior, Briggs' house. Tyler walks to the bathroom. I wouldn't say that hearing about the brutal murder of some little girl that may or may not be in a photograph I took is cool. Gavin sighs and rolls his eyes.
Fine. Where's your partner in crime?
Interior, Briggs' house bathroom. Tyler runs to the shower. He pulls his shirt off and tosses it on the ground. Library. She's doing some research. I need to take a shower to wash off all this disturbing shit. Just stop by when you're done. Gavin crosses his arms.
Like the public library? Who does that? Tyler?
Tyler hangs up. Gavin looks at his phone. Interior, Briggs' house bathroom. Tyler steps out the shower. He wraps a towel around his waist. He walks up to the mirror and wipes away the steam. Tyler studies his stubbled face. He rubs his cheeks. He opens the medicine cabinet and pulls out his razor and shaving cream before reaching down to the closed toilet seat for his clothes. Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Peekaboo Bear sits at the kitchen table. Interior, Briggs' house bathroom. Tyler, now in shorts, scrapes the last few bits of facial hair and shaving cream on his face. He puts the razor down and grabs the towel from the floor. He pats his face with it. Tyler smiles at his reflection, checks his teeth. His eyelids flutter. He shakes his head. A lump forms under his arm and skitters to the side. Tyler's eyes widen as he catches the lump. A few more lumps form and skitter. Bugs under his skin. Tyler smashes against his skin in an attempt to crush these bugs. Tyler looks up at the razor. Exterior, Briggs' house. Gavin's car pulls up in the driveway. Gavin behind the wheel and Cassidy sits in the front seat. The car parks. Gavin and Cassidy open their doors and step out. Cassidy carries her laptop and a few printed papers and 2 large books.
I've called him like 8 times.
Tyler's scream is muffled but sounds. Gavin and Cassidy look to each other. Interior, Briggs' house bathroom. Tyler slices and scrapes the lumps on his arms with the razor. As he slashes and cuts, blood seeps and spiders and cockroaches crawl out from under the wounds. The bathroom door bursts open. Cassidy and Gavin stand in the doorway. Tyler tries to wipe away the bugs from his skin. Cassidy and Gavin see Tyler slicing himself with a razor, but no bugs.
Tyler, stop!
Cassidy jumps to him and grabs his wrist. Get them off me! Get them off! The bugs evaporate into black smoke. Tyler stops struggling.
What? Get what off of you?
Gavin rushes in and grabs a towel and washcloth from the rack. He hands one to Cassidy. They both wrap them around Tyler's arms.
What were you trying to do?
Tyler nods to the sink. There's a first aid kit in there. Cassidy goes for it. Interior, Briggs' house. Tyler and Cassidy sit on the couch in the living room. Tyler's arms are bandaged. Gavin paces in front of them. He plucks his cigarette pack from his pocket and he packs it.
There were no bugs in the bathroom, mate.
Cassidy shoots Gavin a glare. Gavin puts a cigarette in his mouth. It felt so real, though. Cassidy shakes her head.
It's not your fault. It was Abby Brown.
Tyler sighs. Cass. Cassidy gets up from the couch and grabs her laptop and the papers.
No, I'm totally serious. Look what I found.
Cassidy spreads the papers out on the coffee table.
Remember the storage unit that Gilroy told us about?
Yeah.
Well, I looked the name up of the guy that owned it, and he had a young son.
She picks up a piece of notebook paper.
His name was Gabriel Rodriguez. I talked to him when I was at the library.
Interior, library, afternoon. It's a flashback. Cassidy scans articles online and looks up Gabriel's information. She searches him on Facebook and sends him a message. On the screen. Hi, my name is Cassidy. I'm doing a paper on violent families and I had a few questions for you, if you don't mind me asking.
I was really surprised I got a response at all.
On screen. I'm not talking about the cartel. It's about the bear. What bear? It's got doll eyes. I just have a few questions. If you can, please call me. Cassidy sits patiently at the computer station. Her phone buzzes.
Hello?
What do you know about the bear? Montage. Cassidy on the phone nodding. Cassidy reading through articles. A photo of a despondent little boy clutching the bear as 2 body bags on stretchers are carried out behind him. Abusive mother murders husband as the headline.
Wherever this bear goes, people get seriously messed up. I found cases of a school bully running into traffic, bad mother screaming in the grocery store before smashing her face into the frozen food section fridge, a neglectful father putting his hair in a blender. All these perfectly sane but terrible individuals to children committed harm to themselves or others after the bear came into their kids' lives.
Interior, Briggs' house. Tyler studies the headlines.
This is nuts. Yeah, because everything we've seen in the last few days has been totally copacetic.
So she's a ghost?
I think she's a darling.
What?
A darling is a type of ghost.
Cassidy grabs one of the large books and a few papers from the stack. She opens the book to a sticky noted page titled Darlings. The page is full of text and diagrams of dolls, teddy bears, blankies, etc.
Unfortunately, the internet is full of crap wiki pages and stuff like this. However, this book and a few other articles I found made me think that this is what she is. Okay, so look, a darling is the ghost of a child murdered at the hands of a parent. The spirit then attaches itself to an object of some kind, a toy.
Like a creepy teddy bear.
Exactly. So once the toy is in the possession of a child going through a similar experience, like abusive parents, bullying, or even terminal illness, the darling manifests itself as the child's best friend and a protector. And then what? Puts on a sheet and goes boo? It eliminates the threats to the child, starting with the abusers. I don't think your dad's accident was an accident.
Tyler shakes his head. This is crazy.
Really, Scully?
Look, my dad screwed up, okay? He wasn't attacked by some ghost.
What a darling does is actually worse. It manifests the evil that already exists in a person and brings it to life. She makes you see and feel things so that you commit harm to yourself or others. You're the destructive one, and here's a taste of your own medicine kind of thing. Silver lining, though, a darling won't harm the child it's protecting. Alright, okay, hold on. Be kind, rewind. Let's say that all of this isn't a chunk of shit. If the thing is protecting Maggie from the bad guys, why did it attack Tyler?
Cassidy rubs her forehead.
I don't know. I don't have all the answers, okay? Tyler was a dick to Maggie last night. I don't know. Maybe she saw Tyler as a threat, so to the relationship she has with Maggie, because Maggie needs Tyler more than she needs Abigail. All I know is that this thing is dangerous.
So how do we stop it? Cassidy sighs and closes the book.
Well, of course that wasn't in the book. So, how about we just trash the bear? That could work.
The three turn to look at the bear in the kitchen butt. Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Peekaboo is no longer on the kitchen table. Interior, Briggs' house. Gavin pulls the cigarette from his lips.
Where did it...
Let's play peekaboo.
I am 1000% not okay with this. It's daytime. Nothing bad happens in the daytime. Yeah, but something always bad happens after someone says nothing bad happens.
The front door opens. Maggie walks in. She turns to the outside and waves.
Bye, Mommy. I'll see you later, alligator.
She turns back into the house and closes the door. Maggie notices all the people in the living room.
Tyler, did you fall down?
Tyler gets up from the couch and walks over to her. Muggs, why didn't you take Peekaboo with you to school today? Maggie cocks her head to the side, confused. She giggles and takes her backpack off.
I did, silly. Thanks for getting her back.
Maggie reaches into her bag and pulls out the Peekaboo bear. Tyler, Gavin, and Cassidy cannot conceal their shock.
And that is my cue to go smoke my entire pack of cigarettes. They will kill me before the creepy dead girl can.
Gavin's about to leave when slam, the back door slams shut. The four of them look around as the windows each close and the blinds close. The house is sealed. Maggie runs up the stairs with Peekaboo in her hands. Maggie!
Did that thing just lock us in?
Cassidy and Tyler rush to the windows and doors and try them. Gavin picks up a fireplace poker and slams it into the window. The glass doesn't even crack.
This is so great. Ty, maybe you should go, I don't know, put a fucking shirt on. If we're going to be fighting a supernatural entity, you might want to not have your nips exposed.
Gavin, take your smoke in the kitchen. Gavin nods and goes to the kitchen. Cassidy goes to Tyler. He can see she's scared. We're going to be fine.
I know.
He takes her hand in his. They head upstairs. Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Gavin stands by the stove. There's a large frying pan and pot on the stove. He wipes the counter down with a dish towel and hops up on it. He lights a cigarette, takes a long drag. Shakes his head. Interior, Tyler's room. Tyler pulls his shirt on. Cassidy looks around his room. He goes over to her. She hugs him tight. Thanks for saving my life. She pulls back a bit.
Thanks for making mine interesting.
Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Gavin takes a long, nervous drag. Interior, Maggie's room. Maggie and Peekaboo sit at a tea table. All of Maggie's broken toys are gathered in a trash bag in a corner of the room.
I'm sorry that you're scared.
Beat. Maggie brings her hands over her eyes. Interior, Tyler's room. Tyler and Cassidy's faces are inches apart. He leans in and kisses her. Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Gavin is almost finished with his cigarette. The butt glows bright. Interior, Maggie's room. Maggie peeks through her fingers a bit, but reacts as if being censured and covers her eyes fully again. She giggles. Interior, Tyler's room. Tyler and Cassidy separate a bit.
Did you hear something?
Tyler shakes his head. Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Gavin takes one final drag when he drops the cigarette onto his chest, and it ignites. Gavin screams as the flames scorch his shirt and burn his flesh. He jumps from the counter. Gavin snatches the dish towel and pats himself with it, but the flames grow angrier. Interior, Tyler's room. Gavin's screams break through the door. Tyler and Cassidy run out. Interior, Maggie's room. Maggie pulls her hands from her eyes and she looks to her door as the screams reach her. Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Tyler and Cassidy run in and find Gavin striking himself repeatedly with the frying pan. The dish towel sits next to his unlit cigarette on the counter. Tyler tackles Gavin to the ground.
I'm on fire! Fucking help me!
Gavin coughs blood onto Tyler's face. You're not on fire! You were beating the shit out of yourself with a frying pan! Gavin's eyes flutter. He looks at the ground. The dish towel evaporates into black smoke, and he can see the frying pan. Gavin's chest is bruised.
Ow.
Gavin starts to lose consciousness. Gavin, you've got to stay awake.
You did say those things were gonna kill me one day.
We have to get him to a hospital.
How?
Peekaboo, no!
Thud, followed by a slam. Tyler looks to Cassidy. She goes down to Gavin.
Go, I'll stay with him. Be careful.
Tyler runs past her. Interior, Briggs' house, hallway. Tyler bolts up the stairs and gets to Maggie's door. It's locked. Tyler kicks the door open. Maggie's nowhere to be seen, and the bear is also gone. Maggie?
I'm in here.
Tyler looks to the closed closet doors. He rushes over to them. He opens them up and finds Maggie inside. There is a dent in the foundation where she hit the wall. I thought these things didn't hurt kids! Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Cassidy places a pillow from the couch under Gavin's head.
We're dealing with a fucking ghost. It's not an exact science.
Interior, Maggie's room. Tyler helps Maggie out of the closet.
Peekaboo's mad.
Why?
You're trying to make her go away.
Tyler clenches his jaw. She's hurting people, Maggie. She's your friend, and I understand that, but you're important to me, and I can't let her hurt you. Maggie looks down at the floor. She covers her eyes with her hands.
She said the same thing about you.
Interior, Briggs' house kitchen. Cassidy attempts to assess the damage Gavin did to himself. He coughs blood onto her face. The spray makes her flinch. She grabs the towel from the ground, but it's wet. She puts it down and gets up. She searches for another towel, but doesn't find one. She reaches into a top cabinet and pulls one from there. She doesn't notice Abigail standing near the kitchen table, watching her. When Cassidy closes the cabinet, Abigail's gone. Cassidy dabs at the blood on her face. Gavin opens his eyes. He sees Cassidy pulling a plastic bag over her face. Gavin's eyes widen.
Cassidy, what are you doing?
Cassidy scrubs harder with the towel. What Cassidy hears.
It's not coming off.
Cassidy pulls the bag tighter. She gasps for air, and the bag is sucked into her open mouth. Gavin tries to get up. He falls against the cabinet.
Tyler, get down here.
Cassidy falls to her knees as she pulls the bag tighter. Gavin inches to Cassidy and grabs her ankle. Cassidy releases the bag and gasps. She pulls the bag from her face. She looks down at Gavin.
We need to burn that bear.
Tyler storms in the kitchen. He grabs a large knife from the block. Cass, are you okay? Cassidy nods.
All right. So what's the game plan?
All right, I'm going to carve up the Let Him Be Your Teddy Bear by Elvis crackles out from the living room as if on a record player. Tyler and Cassidy follow the sound of the music into the living room. Gavin doesn't hear the music.
Guys! Guys!
Gavin calls after them as they zombily walk into the living room.
Guys!
Interior, Briggs' house. In the living room, Abigail dances with Maggie's corpse as if she was a half-empty sack of potatoes. No! Abigail stops. Maggie's broken neck forces her head to dangle, and she looks back at Tyler through her dead eyes. Abigail cocks her head to the side with a sickening, cracking sound. Her left eye sways a bit. Cassidy's eyes go wide. She's yanked from the ground by her hair and thrown into the dining room. Cass! Abigail attempts to speak, but her broken jaw and mangled lips make it difficult. She drops Maggie's body on the ground. She pops her jaw back into place, and the skin sews itself shut.
You can still save her.
Tyler's eyes well with tears, trapped on his sister's sad, dead expression. He rushes to his sister and cradles her body. He rocks her gently in his arms. I'm so sorry, Muggs.
My mom didn't save me, but you can save Maggie. You know what you have to do.
Abigail's eyes sucks back into her head. Her skin brightens and her hair becomes full again. She is herself.
If you're really sorry, you'll do it. End her suffering.
Tyler looks at the blade in his hand. Interior, Briggs' house. Maggie walks down the stairs. She sees Tyler cradling unconscious Cassidy. Gavin is still trying to inch his way into the living room. Interior, Briggs' house. Abigail studies Tyler. Tyler holds Maggie in his arms. He gently lays Maggie down. Tyler brings the blade to his throat.
Peekaboo, no!
Abigail looks up at Maggie as she hurries down the stairs to the living room. Abigail turns her back to Tyler and faces Maggie.
Peekaboo, why are you doing this?
I love you.
Maggie frowns.
Peekaboo, I love you too. You're my bestest friend. You promised that you wanted to make me happy. You promised that you would keep me safe. Please don't hurt my brother. I need him. I need you. I need you both. I would be so sad if he was gone. Please.
Abigail twitches. She slowly rots to her true form. Maggie doesn't even flinch. Abigail opens her broken jaw to say something when the end of the blade rips through the base of her skull and out of her mouth. It sprays black blood all over Maggie. Tyler kneels behind Abigail, his hand gripped tightly on the handle of the blade. He struggles to retract it and gets covered in black goo himself. As he pulls the knife out, Abigail evaporates into black smoke. The bear falls to the floor, a massive rip in its face and the stuffing exposed. The windows are suddenly opened, the curtains never closed. Cassidy pulls herself up from the floor. Tyler grabs Maggie in for a hug.
Who are you gonna call?
Gavin flattens himself on his back. Exterior, Briggs' house, late afternoon. Gavin's loaded into an ambulance. Tyler in the front yard holds Maggie on his hip. Cassidy's with him. Gavin looks to Tyler and points to the hot female paramedic strapping him in. Tyler nods and smiles at him. The ambulance doors close.
He gonna be okay by himself?
He'd consider us riding along as cock blocking. I mean rude. Cassidy snickers.
I miss Peekaboo.
Tyler rocks her. I'm sorry, Muggs. Would some mac and cheese help? Maggie shrugs. Hey, you were really brave today. Thank you for saving me.
I saved you?
You're my hero. Tyler, with Maggie in his arms, leads Cassidy back into the house. They close the door behind him. Close on the trash can, Peekaboo Bear sits in the top of the bin, the stuffing still coming out. Exterior, Briggs' house, morning. Mrs. Rustin rolls her garbage cans to the end of her driveway. She notices the bear. She looks around before shuffling over to the trash can. She plucks the bear out from the can and smiles at it. An easy fix. Mrs. Rustin takes Peekaboo. Interior, Gilroy's Toys, day. Danny, a stick-figure blonde boy wearing a jacket much too big for him, keeps his head down as he skulks down the aisle. He pauses and slowly turns his head. The shelf's point of view. Danny's face. He has a massive black eye and a busted front lip. He cocks his head to the side and then scoffs. His smile falters. His lip quivers.
Nah, that's a kid's game.
Danny pauses. A smile appears on his face again. He shrugs. Danny brings his hands up over his eyes. Silence. Danny is grabbed by his collar and yanked to the side. Peekaboo Bear, witch stitches in its face, falls from the shelf as Danny hits the floor. Danny stares up, mortified at Carlos, a rugged, nasty man and Danny's father. He kicks at Danny. Time to go, son. Danny takes Peekaboo and hides it in his jacket as he gets up. Carlos shoves Danny every few feet until they are out the door. Interior, Carlos' car, day. Danny is thrown into the back seat. The door slams behind him. Peekaboo falls out of Danny's jacket and into the seat next to him. Carlos dumps himself on the driver's seat. He's smoking a cigarette. He glances back and sees the bear. Carlos snarls. What the hell is that? Danny shrugs.
A bear?
What did I tell you about taking things that don't belong to you? Danny squirms in his seat. He knows what's coming.
Not to take things that aren't mine?
Seems you didn't learn your lesson. You're breaking the law. Looks like I'm going to have to teach you all over again. Carlos opens his hand. Danny inches away. Get back here and give it! Danny frowns. He scoots over and presents Carlos' arm. Carlos yanks it closer to him and pulls back Danny's sleeve. Years of cigarette burns are cataloged on the child's skin. Carlos plucks the cigarette from between his teeth and digs it into Danny's arm to put it out. Danny flinches, but knows that crying will just make it worse. Carlos flicks the spent butt at Danny as Danny sits back. Carlos cackles, turns the steering wheel. Danny puts his sleeve down. You stupid or something? Carlos chuckles. Danny looks down. Danny's point of view. A small hand is next to his where Peekaboo once was. He looks up and sees Abigail sitting next to him. Normal aside from a scar cutting through her lips up and down from the knife. Abigail brings her hands up to her eyes. Danny does the same. Abigail turns to face Carlos. Her hands turn charred and her frame shrivels. Carlos adjusts the rearview mirror and is met with Abigail's true face. His eyes grow wide. He gasps. She loves a good game of peekaboo. Cut to black. Hey!
And that's the beginning, the middle, and end of that story.
Happy Halloween!
Very spooks.
That's really cool.
Ah, well, thank you, sir.
That was really, really cool. It's the first time I've actually got to read it fully. I've been able to read little parts of it.
Yeah. So, what's her name? Jessie does not die. She's just maimed.
Oh, okay. She's not dead now.
She's not dead. No, she's just she's hopefully not going to be bullying anybody anytime soon. And I think that's.
Yeah, so who else dies in this?
So, no one actually dies.
Oh, okay.
Kenneth is definitely has like some kind of brain and organ damage.
He's gonna be a real fuck.
Absolutely, but like, no. Jessie is just messed up. Miss Exton probably is not gonna be able to use her hands for weeks.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anybody else. I don't think there's anybody else in there that.
No, because Gavin's fine, and Cassidy was fine, and Tyler was fine, and
yeah, everybody's okay.
Yeah, everyone's okay. And again, like, because at the end of the day, the Darling isn't necessarily a bad guy. She's not like the Conjuring ghost or anything like that. She's very much, she thinks what she's doing is the right thing, and as the ghost of a child, she has a child's logic, so it's very black and white. Lying to a child and striking a child are basically the same offense. So
it's not really a happy ending.
Yeah.
The cycle continues. Is what.
That was something that Larry and I vehemently disagreed on, where he was like, "Well, they have to stop her," and I was like, "You can't really stop a Darling. You can't kill them. It's one of those things where." It's a resilient spirit that's technically a benevolent one.
Yeah.
So he was like, well, fine.
All right, chat. We'll show you the artist.
The artist rendering.
Artist rendering of the ghost. Oh no! It's covered. Hold on. Let me move it over. There we go. Is that you?
That is me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, she's got lots of teeth.
I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it.
I hate it.
This is a photo set I did when I was a senior in high school. So all of the photo stuff that Tyler does, it was inspired by true events. I was a photo kid in high school, and would take naps in the dark room. It was great. It was a wonderful way to live life. But this is my first Photoshop project that I did.
So you did some of that makeup though, right?
Yeah, so it's mostly practical effects, and I did like the makeup around my face and then the blood, and then I basically brought my jaw in and my cheeks up, and then gave me this second row of teeth in the back.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I also made my nose bigger in the front and then like thinner in the middle. And then I put the Evil Dead eyes actually in over top of my own. So.
Well, I hate it. I never want to see it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to delete it off my computer as soon as I possibly can.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
We did it.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
It seems like they really, everybody was really into it. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Spoopy.
Dread, you missed the ending. Everybody died.
But yeah, so.
Thanks again.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, people.
This is all. These are all your stories, so I appreciate you putting them on the internet for everybody to see.
Yeah. Oh yes, that was a question that came up in the chat earlier, and thank you to I'm gonna call you my hype man, because every so often there's this blurb that would go out and be like, "This is Lexx Fusco's story, PEEKABOO."
Tell them everybody where you can be found.
You can find me on my website, which is just my name, lexxfusco.com.
It's spelled LEXXFUSCO.com.
That's it. Yeah. That's it in here. Thank you, Nightbot.
Yeah.
And then I'm on the Twitter now, and and Instagram. So for Twitter, it's right kinda wrong.
Let's spell it.
It's right.
WRITE. And then kinda wrong.
Kinda KINDA.
Gotcha. All right.
Wrong, because Twitter wouldn't let me do of.
Okay.
I ran out of characters.
Let me see if I can just pull it.
And then my Instagram is the right kind of wrong.
So I think it's like this.
Yeah.
No. Twitter, because you're brand new. You are brand new. There you are.
Yeah. That's me.
There we go. Yeah, so it's that.
Yeah, and then my Instagram's in it.
There it is. There's the IG.
Yeah.
So yes, if you want it, there it is. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. This is really fun. And maybe we do these when they're not spooky and scary, just normal stories outside of Halloween.
Yeah, definitely. I've got features and stories for days.
Okay, cool.
So not to this is what I've experienced from the YouTubes, but leave a comment below as to whether or not you liked the feature format of it all.
They will.
Oh, good. Okay.
Don't worry, they will.
Great.
Her Twitter is up right there on their Dread. All right, bye YouTube.
Bye YouTube.
Bye.